Well, he's a cutie pie. I might put him in Potomac. Okay, yes. Yeah, he can come right on to Potomac.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Richie Scott, and we are back with another video, and we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we got some salary details coming out for y'all. But before we get into all that, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell button, because listen, y'all don't know when the news gonna drop. Listen, and as soon as it drop, I'm bringing y'all that heat, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Hit that subscribe button. Also, follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you are interested in seeing the details of my life. All right, let's get into the video. Now, just because it's the off season with the Real Housewives of Atlanta doesn't mean that we don't have plenty more in store for y'all. I got a whole video I'm planning for everything that's already happened with filming thus far. And yes, they have started filming. Okay, so be on the lookout for that as well. But I want to go ahead and talk about the salaries for the cast members as it has been reported today. So this is like just heating up, guys. This is fresh off of the presses. So I'm going to put the link to the article that's down below in the description from Radar Online. And now let's get into who's making what and whose salary got cut. Okay. I want to go ahead and talk about Shamari first. Now, a lot of you know that Shamari is currently on the Welcome to the Dungeon tour with Kandi, and sources are saying that she was fired as a housewife. So what this also means is that she was demoted and she was offered a day rate. So apparently what Shamari was making before was in the range of $250,000 for season 11. Now, she's apparently been offered a significant lower pay for her day rate, which is allegedly at $800 per day. Now, you know, that's not, it's not a lot of money, but at the end of the day, if Shamari plays her cards right, this could be a very good reintroduction into the music industry for her. I'm not necessarily sure if she wants to continue down the same path with Black. It wouldn't be a bad look for her because she would be able to continue to tour, unless Kandi is going to make this Welcome to the Dungeon tour a longer affair, in which case this could be something good for her to continue to pop up on, not only to get paid, but also to begin making appearances at clubs if the people are interested in like her and interested in her like that, as well as making new solo music with Black. You know, I would be here for more music from Shamari because I do think that she has an amazing voice, and I feel like as a singer she could put out some pretty amazing stuff if she continued to work with Kandi. Now, this would also be a good way for her to also continue working on the show as well, even if she is just a friend of the show, which I think is probably the best place for her. All right, so let's move on to another cast member. So let's talk about Tanya Sam. Now, I've been telling y'all Tanya is coming back, but we're still not sure in what capacity, okay? And so even if she's offered a friend role, she may still be offered a salary. So apparently, last season, for season 11, she was offered $100,000 for her first season. Now that's a pretty good negotiation, particularly for a friend of the wives role, because there are some housewives in other cities that actually make this amount and they're a full-time cast member. So for Real Housewives of Atlanta, this is a great salary for someone who just stepped onto the scene and who is, you know, slowly building a name and a fan base for herself on the show. Not to mention, Tanya's already probably getting paid and slayed from what she does in the world of tech. She's always out at speaking events. She's always out promoting what she does. And I think that this is also one of the reasons why that salary for her is pretty good, because at the end of the day, she probably makes more doing the work that she actually does in tech that she does for the show. However, the show also feeds back into the work because it allows her to promote her businesses, which is gonna be pretty good for her as she continues down this path. All right, so let's move on to Marlo, everybody's favorite frenemy and everybody's favorite friend to the show. Whether you like it or not, Marlo always delivers the drama every season that she's been on here, which is why they continue to make her a staple. Now, for Marlo's role on the show, she actually was receiving $275,000 for the season, for season 11, but now she's getting a pay raise. Apparently she got a raise to $300,000 for the season, which is actually, again, she was making more than Shamari, she was making more than Tanya, and she's also making more than our next person as well. Now, Marlo has actually stated this before, I believe in an interview someplace where she said something about how she was making more than, I think, two of the newcomers and who actually got full-time roles. And that would actually have to be Shamari and Eva, who we're going to be talking about right now. But before we actually get to Eva, I want to say something else. For Marlo to be a friend of the show and to be making this much money, she must be doing something right. And whether you guys like her or loathe her, I want to ask you guys a question. Do you think that Marlo is worth $300,000 or do you think that she's worth more? Sound off in the comments below and let's move on to Eva. Because Eva was allegedly making about $250,000 for her first season, her first full season on the show as a full-time housewife. Now, you guys will recall that the season prior to that, she was actually just a friend to the show. I don't know how much she was making at that point in time, but her first season to get $250,000 is pretty nice. And now for her second season, she's getting $275,000 for season 12. So, not too much of a pay raise, but it is a raise. And honestly, I think that for all of the crap that she went through, I feel like I would have given her a little bit more than that. Because honestly, like the way that people were coming for her and her home and all these other things, I kind of feel like, she had it tough at the end of this past season. So in order for her to continue to get paid and do well on this show, I think she's gonna have to bring a little bit more drama this season than she did this past season. Because there were a lot of fans out there who were saying that she was boring. I'm gonna move on to Cynthia actually, because this one is a little bit controversial for me. Here's the thing. I've heard a report that sort of conflicts with this one. I've heard a report that they actually lowered her pay for her to stay on the show. But this article here is stating that she got a slight pay raise to be on for this season, for this next season. So apparently it was confirmed that she was on the chopping block. But after promises of more romance and hopefully an engagement to Mike Hill, she's been bumped up from $1.75 million for season 11 to $1.8 million for season 12. So with that being said, and with her beef with Nene, we're gonna need for Cynthia Bailey to really amp up the dramatics this season, okay? We're gonna need you to bring season 6 and 7 Cynthia back out. Miss Bailey, if you please. Bring that back out because that's what we wanna see, okay? Let's move right on along. So let's go ahead and talk about Porsha. Now, Porsha is always, honestly, I feel like she's a shoe-in for this show every season because she does bring a lot of the drama. And I would say that she's some people's queen of this show. To some people, Porsha is the queen of this show. But in terms of pay, she definitely ain't the queen right now. Allegedly, according to this report, she's gonna be making about $1.3 million for this coming season, which is actually a raise from the $1.2 million she was receiving for the season prior to. So I don't think that's a bad little raise. I mean, apparently the last raise she was given was actually a significant jump from what she was making before. So honestly, 1.3 million, that's looking pretty doggone good. Still not enough to quite match Dennis McKinley's $30 million net worth, but she is working her way on up there. So I want to talk about Kandi, and then we're going to talk about Kenya and Nene. So Kandi is apparently making $2.3 million for season 12, and she was making $2.2 million for season 11. So she went up as well. Got a significant pay increase, and I think for Kandi it's probably worth it because the network seems to really love her. I'm not surprised. I do think that she'll probably need to bring it a little bit more in this coming season because there are some fans that kind of complain that she's kind of boring. I personally don't think Kandi's boring. There's something that I love about her. I think I'm watching every season because I want to see what new business endeavors she's going to put together. So for me, she is exciting because she has a lot going on. I feel like she probably has, she's one of the characters who definitely has the most going on. And I will tell you guys the truth. Tanya also is someone else to watch with a whole lot of things going on. And Bravo tends to like that when your life is organically busy. You know what I'm saying? You can look across shows and you can tell the housewives that do the best on these shows are the ones who actually have a lot going on, which is why they tend to love Nene, because Nene always has a lot going on. So let's get into Nene Leakes' salary, and then we're gonna talk about Kenya. Okay, so Nene Leakes, you guys know, and I've said this before, she's making apparently about $2.85 million for season 12, whereas she was making $2.7 million for season 11. So this is a significant jump. She is literally the highest paid housewife in the franchise, okay? Hands down, Nene is the highest paid housewife in the franchise. So to me, that does make her sort of like the queen of the show. You know what I'm saying? She's definitely sitting on the Iron Throne right now. You know what I mean? And whether you like Nene or not, she actually brings a lot of dynamics to the show. You know what I'm saying? She's a central character still on this show. And with the way that season 12 ended, and with things that we're gonna talk about for season 12 that's filming right now, you guys are gonna see some interesting shifts happening very soon. Trust and believe what I'm telling you. So I think that she is worth this $2.85 million because she brings so much drama to the show, and with more drama it means more ratings. So let's get into this talk about Kenya more, and then we'll wrap this up. All right guys, so this is the most interesting piece of news that came out of the article. So you guys know apparently Kenya Moore was making about $1.5 million for season 10, okay? So that's a pretty good amount of money to be making for a season on this show. But the problem was that in season 10, she got married and didn't want to show her husband. And so she got married off the show without the cameras rolling, so they weren't able to get that information. And that's, you know, it is her right, but when you're on a reality show like this and fans want to see your life, the fans missed out on that moment for her. So, you know, she didn't work out for season 11. We all know that, and we all kind of felt her absence, I would say. But for season 12, she is allegedly getting a $1 million pay cut. That is huge, and she's only making $500,000. She's making literally just above what Eva's making. Now, that's gonna mean that she's gonna have to bring a shit ton of drama in this upcoming season in order for her to get back to a place where she's making at least $1 million. I mean, $500,000 is nothing to laugh at. I mean, it's nothing to, you know, listen, I'll take that. But at the end of the day, it's a far cry from what she was making before. So now she's apparently getting a $1 million pay cut. That's gotta be a big kick in the butt. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that her pay should have been cut that much? Do you think she's worth $1.5 million? Honestly, I would have expected her to be making somewhere closer to what Kandi's making. Not quite what Nene's making, but somewhere closer to what Kandi's making. But at the end of the day, chick has a job back, she has the opportunity, she gets to promote her brand, which also helps her make more money. You know, but what do you guys think? Do you guys think that these ladies are worth this amount of money? And who are you surprised by the most? And who do you think does not deserve their salary because they maybe just don't bring enough to the show? I have my thoughts about that. I love her to death, but I don't think Cynthia brings that much drama to the show. So I can't necessarily say I don't think she's worth it because listen, we all know that person at work that skates by all the time, but they still get a paycheck. They do the least amount of work to get the most amount of money. So listen, at the end of the day, shout out to you, Cynthia. But this is all that we have for you guys today. Listen, subscribe to the channel. I got a whole lot more news coming for y'all. You don't want to miss a single thing. Hit the notification bell button. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at DJ Richie Sky. And guess what? I will see you guys in the next video.